make it 3.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. And today we've got 2 battles. The first battle we are looking at is in the Minekaze, and what a battle this was. Yes, this is the battle where I get the most kills I've ever had in one game. So 7 kills, that's my most. I know definitely not the most. I've definitely seen replays where people have gotten 10 kills, which is phenomenal. But for myself, this was like a little, check off the old list. Up to 7 kills, so fantastic. We are on straight, and you can see as well that I'm grouped up with Pudahead today in this clip. So we were just sort of messing around in ships and decided to take out the Minekazes, because why not? I mean, this is an amazing little destroyer. The Kamikaze R, the Fujin, I just love all 3 of them. They're just so good. Anyway, we start in the south. And Pudahead and I are immediately going to go into C. Start capping C, and then sort of take it from there, right? See what sort of enemies are around, what we can get shots or torpedoes off on, and then maybe even have to stay and defend C. But if not, keeping the option open to move up there to B, right? Because B would be nice to take if we can just hold C and B. Then the people up there in the north may not necessarily need to take A. The alternative here, of course, is they take A. We might then be able to fall back from C and hold B. These are all things that sort of just going through my mind, right? Plans, putting in place here just in case things go down, because you never really know. I mean, you always in a destroyer, I'm going to go for the closest point, but then, what if something goes wrong, right? Have to be able to pull out and stay alive, really. So here we are, we're moving into C, and we've started to cap C, so this is pretty great. There pops up a Clemson, I believe. So I'm staring down this guy. He's within my torpedo range. He doesn't know I'm here, so I fire off a full salvo of torpedoes at the guy immediately, right? Just trying to see, maybe I might be able to do something. He spots me briefly there, but does nothing about it. I just pop my smoke and turn it on myself, and Pudahead in the meantime is in the cap with me as well. So we're just going to stay here for right now, make sure we cap this point, and then again, take it from here, see what happens. And so far, in terms of what enemy ships are coming towards us, just while my torpedoes are getting in on the Clemson, we're noticing there are 2 battleships, so a Wyoming and a Congo, and then the 2 destroyers that seem to be with them are sort of leaving. The Clemson is coming along, drove in a straight line the whole time. Blam. First kill, devastating strike, and first blood. Fantastic. So now we're going to try and line up in this Congo. If the Congo continues in a straight line, I should be able to get him. So he's within my range. I've got some good cover here in front of me. So we launch off the torpedoes. We turn out of it immediately. Get back into some smoke here, right? Because the smoke that I had launched off is still going. So great. We still have that. But you can see the Congo is turning away. Now, whether or not he saw my torpedoes, I'm not 100% sure, but something happened and it caused the player to consider turning out of it. So he turns out of it, and my torpedoes are all going to miss. You do notice Pudahead there has torpedoes on the way for the Congo as well, but his torpedoes are also going to miss because both of us launched our torpedoes on the assumption that he'd continue in a straight line, which at this tier and battleship players is a pretty good assumption anyway, much like we're going to see here with this Wyoming. So Wyoming is coming into range. He's not at a great angle at me, so I wasn't really sure about these torps, but I launched them anyway, right? He's coming at me, so we're going to launch these off. And then my plan was to open up the distance a little, and then you can see I'm turning back in on him, because if he continues going straight, then maybe I can get broadside to him without him seeing me, launch my torpedoes at a better angle, and finish him off, right? That is my plan as of right now, anyway, because I didn't expect these torpedoes to amount to a whole lot. So my torpedoes are almost there. You can see I'm almost reloaded. In the meantime, Pudahead is lining up some of his torpedoes right now. So my torpedoes come into the Wyoming, who did drive in a straight line, 2 torpedo hits, and did a bit of damage, right? Again, angle wasn't great, so not so awesome. But torpedoes are reloaded. I've got a little bit better angle, so I launched mine. You can see Pudahead in the background there launching his as well. But the Wyoming just took a huge hit from one of our battleships in the background, so kudos to a friendly battleship, and the Wyoming is also flooding from the damage that I did to him. There he goes. Wyoming is gone. That's my second kill. So I'm moving up into B now, right? I told Pudahead that, well, Pudahead said actually, I think, he's like, you can go off to the north if you want, Thotgor. And it's like, yeah, I'm planning on, I'm going to make my move on B here shortly. What I wanted to do was I wanted to take out this Gen V first. And you can see the Gen V is basically in a reverse at this time, so I thought, yeah, we'll shoot 2 on that lead, and then once this third torpedo salvo loads up here, maybe shoot as if he were to be still. And you can see, in fact, he is starting to go forward a little, right? So wasn't feeling too good about those torpedoes that are on the way for the Gen V, but still, at least it's getting him moved around. Maybe I can cause him to push back a little, and then I can get in there and start capping, or at least contest B. I'm hesitant to deal with the Gen V too aggressively, right? Because the Gen V has really good guns on her, and I don't want to have to mess around with those, especially considering the poor guns that the Minekaze has. I just, in a gun battle, I'm not going to do well. Now, there was a second enemy destroyer here at B as well, but you can see the smoke off to the starboard side. That enemy destroyer is going to the east, to that little channel, to line up on my friendly battleship over there. So, yeah, you can see him, he's popping in and out. I mean, it's not a great situation. Ideally, I would have liked to save my friendly battleship, but I wasn't going to go over there and try and hunt down that destroyer, especially when, I could probably be capping this point. Even though my allies up there in the north, they did a fantastic job. We do have A, we have C. If we can get all 3 points locked down, that'd be fantastic. So you can see the first 2 torpedo rounds I launched off the Gen V didn't amount to a whole lot, right? You can see he's moving around, and I was kind of unsure as to where to launch them. There I'm spotted, so now I'm going to start coming into his gun, under the fire of his gun, so I was a little concerned about that. So I estimated on where he would be when my torpedoes get there, and held off on that third spread, launched them, and they're in the water now. In the meantime, I'm kind of returning fire on the Gen V, but I'm trying to stay at least 4 kilometers away from the ship, and this is because the torpedo range on the Gen V is only 4 kilometers, so if I stay out of that range, I don't have to worry about his torpedoes. My torpedoes, however, are right on the mark. Hit him with 1, take him out, that's another devastating strike, and we're up to 3 kills now, so that is not too bad at all. Taking a look around, right? Don't want to get too over-focused here on just killing enemies as fast as I can. So we're looking around. We can see Putahead has managed, Putahead and allies managed to secure the south, right? There is still, I believe it's a Congo is still alive, but you can see he's pushed up that western channel, the channel on the western side of the map, to join his allies in the north. So that Congo is more or less out of the game for right now. He will make an appearance. So we see this Omaha lining up in the Omaha, thinking to myself, well, it's probably not going to end up hitting him, right? It's a cruiser. The chances of a cruiser going in a straight line for that long aren't too great, but I launched them anyway, just in case, right? Managed to cap B as well, so that is fantastic. My team now has all 3 caps. We've got torpedoes on the way for the Omaha. The Omaha isn't taking any evasive action as of this point in time, especially considering you can see him firing his guns, right? So he is engaging something. You'd think he might be maneuvering around a little, but nope, not happening. My torpedoes are almost there, so we'll take a little closer look. There we go. You can realize at the last minute the Omaha was like, oh crap, and there's nothing he can do about this. So we get 3 torpedo hits, so well, there's 2, there's 3. Take out the Omaha for the 4th kill and another devastating strike. Fantastic. So here is a Wyoming. Different Wyoming than the one we saw at the beginning, but you do note the Congo, right? So the Congo has finally come out of the channel. We're going to have to start dealing with this guy eventually, but for now I'm going to launch torpedoes at this Wyoming, assuming he continues in a straight line, continues coming at me. Those torpedoes might be able to hit him. Keeping in mind he has a Konigsberg right behind him as well, or right near him. So that Konigsberg is on pretty low health, but I didn't want to have to duel it out with this guy with guns, because again, it's a cruiser, it's a Konigsberg, right? He has really rapid firing guns. Didn't want to have him spot me and start firing at me, so I get myself out of there. So we can see the torpedoes are on the way in. For a second I thought they would actually hit the Konigsberg, but the Konigsberg manages to clear them. So not really a big deal for that player. He's managed to avoid them, but the Wyoming, who is now in a reverse, by the way, takes 2 torpedo hits. So that was pretty good. We damaged that guy a bit. In the meantime, we are launching torpedoes off at the Konigsberg here, because this thing is going to be a huge threat. And as well, because he's on such low health and I'm already spotted, I figured I may as well start firing guns at him, see what I can do in case the torpedoes don't actually hit. In the meantime, I'm looking at the mini-map, and I'm coming close to battleships, right? Keep in mind, there was a Wyoming and a Congo there, right? So I am going to just basically drive in a straight line towards the Congo. The plan here is take out the Konigsberg, turn, launch torpedoes, take out the Congo. That is what I'm hoping to do. So my torpedoes missed the Konigsberg, but my shots went in. There we go. Konigsberg is gone. That's my Kraken. Fantastic. Torpedoes are reloaded in a few seconds here. The enemy Congo is so close, there's nothing he can do. I was taking a big chance though, because the secondaries could have maybe done something there. And then this Minekaze pops up, who's on really low health. So I put a few shots into the Minekaze, just hoping to hit him and kill him. There we go, he's dead. That's 6 kills. Torpedoes are on the way for the Congo. There we go, high caliber, Confederate, battle hero, 7 kills, double strike, and another devastating strike. Yes. Yes, I was amazed at this point in time. Someone comments in chat, Thotgor OP, fantastic. The Wyoming still sees me, but look at the points, 998. Battle is over. This is done. I tried to tell people to check YouTube. I've got caps lock on and pressing buttons on the keyboard because I was just so excited with this battle. Most kills I've ever gotten in a game, and a whole crap ton of awards there, right? So it's battle hero. See it there, we got a double strike, we got a first blood, we got the Kraken Unleashed, we have 4 devastating strikes, 1 high caliber, 1 Confederate. Amazing. 14 torpedo hits, 7 kills, a full base capture on my own, and then an assist there. So you can see 2700 experience is not too shabby at all. Top of the team overall, you know, pretty good results here. And in terms of damage done, I believe that it's about 35,000 damage done, maybe a little less, a little more, or sorry, 135,000 damage done, so that is not too shabby at all. I was really happy with this battle, needless to say, right? So moving into the next clip for the day, we are in the Kiev. Yes, this is the maiden voyage of the Kiev. I was fairly happy to get this destroyer. It took me a while, you know, the Russian destroyers weren't a priority on my list. I went for German cruisers because I enjoy cruiser gameplay more. Not to say that destroyers are not fun. Destroyers are amazingly fun. We watch a lot of destroyer replays here on the channel. But anyway, I was happy to get the Kiev because the Ognivoy, I did not enjoy the Ognivoy at all. It was a pretty terrible ship in my opinion. The main reason for it is that the 4 guns it does have are only mounted in 2 turrets, and if you lose one of those turrets, which happens very often, you are just, you know, 50% of your firepower is gone. Plus it doesn't cater to my sort of gameplay, you know, or I like to get in there, do a bunch of damage, maybe get a few kills and then get out. Whereas with the Russian destroyers, it's really more about picking off enemy players who are in bad positions or who have low HP, right? Anyway, looking at the maiden voyage here. So obviously the ship is completely stock. My captain is not retrained on her at all. But, you know, I have been enjoying the Kiev so far. Right now, I believe I just got the range increase upgrade for her. So that brings her up to 12.4 kilometers, I think is the range with the guns with that increase. But I don't have it in this replay, right? I only got that upgrade a few days ago or something like that. Anyway, you can see I'm going to be playing fairly cautiously this first time around, right? We're going to fire some guns off this Minekaze here. I figure it was pretty good because I've got some cover coming up, so you know I'll be able to get a few rounds off, and hopefully the island there will mitigate any sort of damage I might take. Enemy destroyer pops up, so immediately, you know, obviously I'm going to be going for this enemy destroyer. It only makes sense when you're in Kiev. I mean, come on. One thing I'm really enjoying about the Kiev is the 2 gun turrets on the front, right, to give you a total of 4 guns, forward-facing guns. I really enjoy that. It makes a whole lot of sense for this ship, because essentially what you can do, if you can get in the right situation, I wouldn't recommend doing this just out in the open, but if you can get into a good situation, you can charge at a target, you know, pop your boost, charge at a target, close the range, fire torpedoes, and get the hell out of there. Because on boost, this Kiev goes well over 40 knots. I mean, even stock without boost, I think it's 42 knots. So it's a really quick ship. I understand that the Kiev was a whole lot better before they buffed it a few patches ago. I didn't actually have one, so, you know, not 100% sure what people are talking about, or, well, I know what they're talking about, but I didn't actually get to try it for myself, right? This is the Kiev that I have and playing now. So what I understand is that one of the biggest buffs was the turn speed on the Kiev, and that is definitely one of my gripes about the ship, I guess. It does not turn great at all. You know, for a quick, speedy little destroyer, she handles like a goddamn battleship. It's just, sometimes it's a little frustrating, but you know, you can still make it work if you're used to it enough, and you know, if you know what you're doing in this ship specifically, you can still make it work. I'm still learning, obviously. I haven't really played a whole lot of battles in the Kiev as of yet. Still not putting a whole lot of time into the Russian line, because frankly at this point in time, with my ships that I have, I don't know what the next ship that I want is going to be. I mean, I can research, or sorry, I have already researched the Mahan, and I've just need to purchase her. Didn't actually do it yet because, you know, keeping the Farragut so far for team battles, and I don't really want to buy another port slot just for the Mahan and then sell the Farragut later, but I might end up doing it, who knows. But other than that, you know, I'm not really sure what ship to go for next, and I'm kind of leaning towards the Hindenburg, frankly. I really enjoy the Rune, really enjoy the German cruiser line, so I think the Rune might be, the Hindenburg might be next on the old list here. Anyway, back into the battle. You can see I'm strafing in behind the sort of the middle of the map here, right where B would normally be, trying to engage people at maximum firing range, and then hopefully maybe pop out of sight, because again, you know, I don't have the sixth sense ability, or I forget what it's called now, just sort of escaped me, but anyway, I don't have that ability activated on this captain because he's retraining, so I don't know when I'm spotted. I'm just going on based on the visit or detectability range of the Kiev here, which is pretty high. I mean, you're not going to be doing stealth torpedo runs in this thing. This stupid ground, right? I bottomed out and didn't actually realize it, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell is going on? And then you go forward and you hit it again. But anyway, we get through that. We get through it. And we're making our way over here now to the west. I mean, you can tell that I haven't really, figured out necessarily how to play the ship most effectively, because I'm kind of jumping around between fronts, and not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I actually don't have too much of a problem with what I'm doing here, right? I was over there on the east, come over here on the west, just using the flexibility of a destroyer here to jump around the map and try and find someone who isn't in a good position, or, you know, on low low hit points, so that I can come in and finish them off. That's sort of what I'm looking at, and you can see I do have this York over here, right? Sort of sizing this guy up. He's almost within my firing range, so thinking to myself, this might be a good opportunity to start testing out this whole Russian destroyer harassment tactic thing, right? Because we know from our destroyers, the Japanese are, you know, your torpedo boats. Well, no, the Kitakami, God, is Japanese as well. So yeah, Japanese are your torpedo boats. Your Americans are, you know, pretty good jack of all trades. Gunboats, torpedo boats, not too bad at all. They fill the roles. And your Russian destroyers are really your gunboats, right? Really, more or less a gunboat. It does have torpedoes, obviously, but the range of the torpedoes isn't significant until the later tiers. And I have heard good things about the tier 10 Russian destroyer. I'm interested in it, but I'm in no rush to get her at this point in time. Anyway, still eyeing down this York. So the York is finally in my gun range here, so we start engaging her, taking a look around some of the other ships that I'm going to have to deal with as well, because now people know that I'm here, right? They've spotted me. Luckily for me, all I can see is an enemy battleship in the distance, and I was fairly confident in my ability to avoid the incoming battleship shells, especially considering that the Kiev is really, really fast, right? I can do well over 40 knots in any situation, and it's going to make it hard for enemy ships to actually land shells on me, because they have to lead quite a bit, and all I have to do is, once I see their shots coming in, is turn a little and avoid the shots. So there we go. First kill, managed to take out the York. Not too bad at all. I was thinking to myself, this is pretty decent. right? Was able to come in here, quickly catch up to the York, take it down fairly quickly, and more or less ambush that player. So I was pretty happy with that. Wasn't too bad at all. I just caught a glimpse of an enemy destroyer, but this enemy destroyer is way off in the distance, right? I have a cruiser in between, an enemy cruiser in between myself and that destroyer, so we're going to have to maybe play it a little safe here, see what happens, sort of judge the situation as enemy ships start to pop up, right? Because I don't want to overextend. I only have 2 allied ships behind me, and didn't really want to overextend. And considering as well that this is a maiden voyage, we all know how those end, and I really didn't want to have it end that way. I was hoping to at least survive. I would have accepted the defeat, but at least survive. Don't want to ruin it now, but it's not going to work that way. Nope. So we're still eyeing down these enemy ships, and I wasn't really sure what to do, right? I didn't know if I should hang back and let my allies start pounding away at these guys, right? We can see Thotgor right there, giving a nice broadside. Hopefully my allies are taking advantage of it, and we can see, yes, they are. They just landed some nice shots on the Thotgor. So I'm going to try and put a few rounds into this Thotgor, maybe take him out, and then turn away and hopefully, go back to being unseen, and then try and line up on someone else. The Thotgor's sending shots into me, and then suddenly enemy destroyer pops up. So obviously the enemy destroyer is now the biggest threat here. We're going to try and deal with this guy, hopefully, but I do have a number of enemy ships who are actually engaging me at this point in time, right? We have 2 cruisers, the Thotgor, and I think it's a Minekaze, engaging me. I got some nice hits there on the Farragut, so maybe I might be able to finish this guy off, and then hopefully survive all of this. But I'm pretty panicked at this point in time, and I'm just not landing any hits onto this damn Farragut. And what's making it worse, or at least more frustrating, is I'm sitting there and I'm trying to line up and shooting the Farragut, and it's like, this goddamn guy, he only has like one more hit and I'll get him, and then start making mistakes, right? And there we go, Farragut is gone. No, he's not dead, he's just behind the island, don't see him anymore, and now I have all these cruisers to contest with, because they all know where I am, because I've been firing my guns at the Farragut. So the Farragut pops up again. I decided to push my luck some more, see if I can't land one shot. There we go, we landed one. Not enough though, just wasn't enough. Minekaze in the meantime is moving into position to start engaging me here. Keep in mind we still do have the enemy at Thotgor. He's still on really low health. Actually, no, the enemy at Thotgor is dead now, but I am closing in on an enemy battleship as well, right? And there comes the shots from the Minekaze. Damn, those really did a whole bunch of damage to me, so I popped some smoke. I'm going to try and turn, hopefully be unseen here, but this Farragut is just too appealing to me, and I just can't get it off my mind. I just want to kill, or I just want to get the kill right. So I take some more shots from the battleship and the Minekaze, and I'm on really low health now. So now is not the time to chase down this Farragut and try and kill him. I just have to get out of this situation and hope people don't see me. Enemy battleship in the background did fire some more shots off at me, and we saw that they did barely miss me, so that was pretty lucky there. And I'm just continuing along in a straight line. I've got my boost going, right? I'm just trying to get out of this whole situation as quick as I possibly can. Enemy battleship pops out of view, and I assume that I am now unseen. I figured it's pretty good now for me to get close in here, maybe finish off that bloody Farragut, maybe, right, depending on where he goes. So you can see I'm turning around, kind of looking at things, thinking about at this point in time that maybe I should just run into the enemy base, try and start capping that, maybe take some pressure off of our base, because if you notice, the enemies are up there by our base. They're not capping it or contesting it at this point in time, and we have a lead in points, but it's very, very close. So we just kind of want to, I just want to take a little bit of pressure off of our base and maybe have the enemies, second guess themselves. But turns out the enemies have their base defended, right? There's the Thotgor. Thought he was dead. He's not. He's just on really low health. We've got an Madien in there as well, and I think it's another York, maybe? Or not 100% sure what that other cruiser is, but it's another cruiser. So 2 cruisers and a battleship to face off against. I immediately start engaging this Thotgor, thinking that I can probably avoid the incoming shots, maybe take out the Thotgor. That's one less cruiser that I have to worry about, and then I can switch over to the second enemy cruiser, the York, I believe. So that's sort of what's going through my mind, not really considering how low of health I am. Yes, and there we go, maiden voyage of the Kiev. at least I managed to get a kill anyway, I suppose. Learned a few things, right? And obviously it's improved since then. But anyway, hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Leave any comments you have for me, obviously, in the video comment section below. Love reading those and responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.